I'm Dave from boyinaband.com, and I'm here on the set of my MPC drum battle. So the MPC is over there, and I figured that since the mics are all set up to record the kit, I'd show you how I mic up my drum kit. So let's go. Now there's lots of ways to go about miking a drum kit, but I'll explain what I've done here. I've used 5 different microphones. We've got 2 overheads here. I'll go into detail about the mic specifically in a bit. On the snare, we've got 1 microphone, and down in the kick drum as well. If you can count, that's 4, and we've got 1 over here, this one, because it was set up and it worked quite nicely as a room mic. If you don't have a room mic, the kit tends to sound really kind of unnatural if you're just purely close micing it. So it's nice to have a bit of both in there. The kick drum mic is a Shure Beta 52A. If you can't get hold of that, an Akg D112 is another good one. These are mics that are specifically designed for bass kind of sounds, bass amps and kick drums. So basically just put it in there and just wait until you get a thudding tone. It's quite nice. If you're worried it's not clicky enough, then you can go around the front and mic up around where the Beta is. Here. Or you can just layer it with a clicky sample with some sample replacement, VST or something like that on the computer. Box Sounds Replacer is a pretty good one. Now for the snare, I've got an SM57. This is probably what I'd use for toms if I had any toms set up as well. And again, this is just placed just near the rim. Differences in position can really change the sound, so check that out. I did end up getting quite a dull tone from this snare combination with the mic, so I sample replaced it as well on the computer and kind of merged the 2 sounds together. But another technique is to mic underneath the snare, so you get the stringy bits nice and prominently. It's called the snare, not the stringy bits. Remember, a cheap sounding snare is always going to sound crap. So if you want to get a well recorded snare, you're going to have to splash out on something quite good, or sample replace it on the computer. As well as that, you need to learn how to tune your snare drum so it doesn't sound like a flabby mess. So here's a tutorial on where to learn how to do that. On where to learn? No, just how to learn. The overheads are just there to add in a bit of width to the kit, as well as to catch the cymbals and the hi-hat. These are Samson C02 condenser microphones. Condenser microphones are really good for high frequency, so for vocals and, as I said, overhead miking for cymbals on drum kits, it's ideal. You have to use phantom power with these, so make sure you've got that. These really help to make the kit sound more natural, kind of like the room mic I mentioned earlier. Though when I put them into the computer, I do usually high-pass filter them, so it gets rid of all the low ends, so it doesn't get flabby with the kick drum mic as well. Flabby is a good word when it comes to miking drum kits. And lastly, I have this Rode NT1A plugged in already, since I use it for vocals and when I record my tutorial videos all the time. So I figured I may as well turn it on for a bit of extra ambience. And just to show you what that does, check out the mix without it, and with it. Much more natural. Room mics can definitely help round off a sound and make it sound more authentic. Though again, I do tend to high pass this like I do with the overheads, just so there's no bass frequencies flabbing about in there. So that's just a mega quick explanation of the basics. It takes a few hours to experiment, find those sweet spots with the microphones on the kick and the snare particularly, and then it's just a case of getting to grips with the EQ and compression so it can sound really nice once you've put it into the computer. But that's a whole different topic entirely. So I hope that's given you some idea of how to mic up a drum kit. Cheers for watching, you guys, and have a nice day.